Hey everyone, how you doing? Ross Hamilton here, CEO of Connected Investors, the world's largest network of real estate investors. And in just a few moments, I'm going to introduce you to someone very special. Someone you really need to know. Someone who's impacted the lives of so many of our members and myself personally. So I'm not going to keep you in suspense for that long. Go ahead and follow me so I can introduce you to the person that's going to help you get to your next level. Come on. I just brought you inside the doors of the headquarters of a top consultant in the real estate investing space. A gentleman who's done 7,000 plus deals and helped countless people get to their next level. And the first time I was here, I was really inspired because if you look at this wall, you'll see the testimonials of all of the people who have worked with this consultant and have been successful. This is what's important because it impacts this person, Ian here, and also his family. Anytime you're doing something that you've never done before, whether it's your first real estate deal or if you're trying to take your business to the next level, there's certain things that you need. So go ahead and come with me. So I'm going to introduce you to one of those things here in just a moment. A few of those things are the tools you need, right? And Connected Investors gives you access to the tools. So you're good there. Something else you're going to need is your connections. And Connected Investors is the largest network of real estate investors in the world. So you have all the connections you need. But you need help putting together the pieces of the puzzle. There's one more thing that you need. You need a high-level consultant to help coach you through your deals. So you need a consultant, but who do you bring onto your team? Because that's what you're really doing with the consultant. You bring someone on your team that has helped thousands of people get to their next level. Recently, I did something I thought I would never do, kind of a bucket list item. I competed and completed an Ironman triathlon. That's a 2.6 mile swim, 112 miles bike, and a 26.4 mile run, all in the same day. And before I jumped into this huge commitment, I got the tools. I got the people in place. But what got me through, what got me to the finish line, was having my consultant and coach. You're not doing a physical Ironman here, but you're actually doing a financial Ironman. And we're going to help you get to your next level. So I'm going to introduce you to your new consultant. Come on. Hey Dave.
Hey Ross, how's it going?
Good man, great to see you.
Yeah, you
I have
too.
some very important people I want to introduce you to.
All right.
What I'm really excited about is the success rate of the real estate investors that you consult.
Absolutely.
Why do you think your students are so successful?
They're so successful because they're being trained by a consultant that is actually out there doing the business on a regular basis.
And that's really why we've never recommended consulting until today, because there's so many big Walmart brands out there that herd people into rooms and then they pay $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for coaching. And that's okay to pay that number as long as you're getting what they promise they're going to deliver to you.
Right, exactly. Mostly in those rooms, people are just a number. They're a price tag on the salesperson's head.
And that's really what I like about you and your organization, because you actually have your whole family working here.
I do, as a matter of fact, yeah. They're here. My mom, my brother, my sister, my other brother does IT, my cousin Chris, my aunt Edna, my cousin Debbie. It's a family affair.
And this is a really big building. You actually own this building?
Yeah.
How many square feet is this?
It's 12,000 square feet.
12.
This is all my education company. My real estate investment company, this houses 38 associates. My real estate investment company is down the street. It has 171.
171. So the building that you're coaching people in, you actually bought and you own?
Yes.
That's a great question to ask anyone who's coaching you. Hey, do you own the building you're in? Because if you're a real estate investor, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You
That's
do.
a good question.
You do.
A lot of people that are out there teaching, they don't even, they run their business out of their house. It's just them, and then they outsource everything. So that's the difference, I think, between quality coaching from someone who's been in the business for over 18 years and then actually going to a company who is really a marketing company.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Dave Lindahl and what you've done as a real estate investor over the past 18 years since I was 7 years old.
Yeah. Were you 7 years old 18 years ago? Wow. So I didn't start out as a real estate investor like nobody does. I started out as in a rock band for 10 years. I come from a very blue-collar family up here in Boston. When I was 26 years old, I realized I wasn't going to make it in rock and roll, even though I really wanted to. I was lead vocals. And then I just really wanted a better life. And that's basically what everybody that comes into real estate, that's what they're looking for. They're looking to improve their life. So I started looking into real estate. I started getting educated and realized for me, I went into a certain type of real estate first. It wasn't single family. People think, oh, you went into single family. No, I went into multifamily first, and then I went into single family. Kind of a little different than everybody else does. And then when I was out there, there wasn't a lot of people teaching 18 years ago. So I did a lot of trial and error. It took me 9 months to do my first deal because I was so scared. And then after that, I did my first deal, and then 3 months later I had 3. 6 months later I had 9, and in the first year I had 11. And that's what I see in my students. You know, we started the consulting probably about 10 years ago. I invested for 8 years, and then I actually started teaching. And so for the last 10 years, we've been realizing that people that are coming into the system, it's getting them into their first deal is the most important. Then after that, they just explode and blossom.
Well, with that exploding, how many properties do you own right now?
Currently, I control over 7,000 units in 18 different markets around the United States.
And those markets were all identified in some of the books that you wrote. What was the book, Emerging Markets?
Emerging Real Estate Markets was my first #1 bestseller.
Fantastic.
And then I wrote Multifamily Millions, and then Donald Trump called me and asked me to co-author a book with him, which I did. And then my most recent book was How to Invest in Your Own Backyard, Single Family Flips.
For any of you out there who have been in this game for more than 9 months and you haven't done your first deal yet, don't feel bad. That's why I've brought this consultant on. He'll help get you there, okay?
Yeah, there's a number of different reasons why people don't get into their first deal. Fear is the big one. Fear, trying to find the time to actually do this business. And then really, how do you get started? A lot of people just never get started because they're not quite sure how to get started.
Well, Dave, you and I have something else in common other than our love for real estate and helping people. We both recently completed an Ironman triathlon.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And that
you
was
beat me by 2 hours.
a different race, though.
Yeah.
Different race. And, you know, the commitment it takes to...
So just so you know, an Ironman is 140.6 miles. 2.5 mile swim, you know, I'm just telling the folks, 112-mile bike, and then a marathon after you're done with that.
all in the same day.
I did mine in 14 hours and 48 minutes, and you did yours in how long?
12 hours. 12 hours.
12 hours.
12 hours.
That's pretty sweet.
So Dave, you're constantly pushing yourself to the next level. Whenever you decided that you were going to do an Ironman, how did you prepare for it?
Well, I just started, I was going to do an Ironman because it was a bet with my brother. We're actually right outside his door.
Mine was a bet too.
Yep. And he said, we had just did a sprint, which we had never done any type of a triathlon before, so we did the smallest one. And then he looked at me and he said, I bet you can't do an Ironman. And I was like, what?
Challenge accepted.
Yep, I'll do it. And then I said to him, I bet you can't do one. He says, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then I was walking down those stairs that you just walked up. I thought to myself, oh my God, what did I just do? So I started thinking about it. By the time I was at the bottom of the stairs, I turned around, I walked back up, and I said, we got a coach. We got to get somebody that's going to consult us through this whole process. And I said, this is not a year-long process. This is a probably 1.5 to 2 year process, and we're going to get somebody to teach us how to do it from day one. And that's what we did. And I use that analogy a lot in terms of finishing Lake Placid. I did the Lake Placid Ironman. And you don't finish Lake Placid the day of the race. You finish Lake Placid by doing all of those little things, all of those trainings before. And it's the same thing as doing a deal. You don't get that deal because you just happen to walk into a great deal. You get that deal because of all of the little things that you did before to set yourself up to get that deal.
Running the 1 mile was easy. You got to the 2 miles, that was easy. And you build up over time.
Yeah.
The small, seemingly insignificant tasks add up to the biggest accomplishments.
They do.
But to speed up that success curve, and that's what everyone inside Connected Investors wants, you have to have a coach or a consultant because you don't have time to figure things out yourself.
Well, absolutely. And consultants just get you there faster. I got to 11 units my first year. A year and a half, I got a consultant myself, a mentor. His name was Mark. And from the first to the second year, I was up to 32 properties. And then from that second to the third year, I got up to 49, and that's when I started my emerging market strategy. I was buying these smaller properties up here in New England, and then I started buying larger complexes around the United States. And that's when I just exploded.
I remember at 19 years old, I went to my first real estate investing seminar. Who knows, it could have been one of yours.
Maybe.
And some of the older individuals in the audience said, man, if I knew what you knew when I was 19 years old.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I basically signed up, I got a coach, and that accelerated absolutely everything.
And you took action.
And I took action. And within 2 or 3 years, I was completely financially independent and had enough money to launch Connected Investors and now help other people.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I want you to follow the same path that I took, and you can't do that without the right people in your life.
Coaching keeps you accountable. That's the big thing. Because a lot of people, they want to do something, they have the dreams of doing something, but yet their day gets busy, and then by the time of the end of the day, they don't get what they want done in terms of real estate, then a week goes by and a month goes by, but when you have somebody that you have to actually report to and they give you homework, Now you're accountable.
And I want to jump in there, because if you think you don't have time, try running 3 technology companies and a real estate investment firm and train for an Ironman. As busy as I was, I had to find 30 hours a week to carve out. And it's amazing, when you really want to do something, the time is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in the last year, when we've accumulated a lot of additional units, I graduated from Harvard University. I was accepted there. They have a program for people that are over 30 in their business school. It's called the OPM, where you have to be doing over $10 million in revenues first, that your company has to get to that size, and then they'll take a look at you, and then they invite you into this 3-year program, which I was very happy to be invited into, because when I was in that rock and roll band all those years, there was no way I was going to get into Harvard University back then. And so so I was doing that. I was also training for that Ironman, and it's 3-4 hours a morning, and then those long weekend drills, 10 hours on a Saturday, and then a 15 to 20 mile run. And then trying to live life, trying to maintain a family, trying to do all the other things, maintaining this business and the 3 other businesses that I'm in right now. So it's a matter of finding the time. Anybody that's successful at anything finds the time to do it. And there's a lot of different ways you can find the time. That's part of the process. Part of the coaching process is determine where you are now, okay? Figure out where you can capture some time, use that time to your best use, and then take those little increments that are going to get you into your first or very next deal.
Dave, when I did the initial tour of this amazing facility you had here, I spoke with a few people over at the water cooler, and they're all doing deals. Yeah. And these are your coaches. And they're doing a lot of deals.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, in order to be a coach, you have to have gone through our system. So you have to have been trained by us. You have to then have gone out and been successful. Okay, we keep an eye on our student body, and we look for people that have the heart of giving back, people that really want to give back, and then we'll approach them and ask them if they would be interested in being a coach. But in order to get to that point, they have to have done a certain amount of deals. So once they get to the certain amount of deals, because we have a Hall of Fame here, once they get to a certain amount of deals, then we'll ask them if they're interested in becoming one of our consultants for newer students coming in. We're pretty good at choosing our consultants.
That's probably why your consulting firm here is more like a boutique. It's not like the Walmart. It's more like a boutique, because you grow your organization in a smart way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not scripted like a lot of the other programs that are out there. Basically, they are teaching off of the foundations that they know. I have 26 core foundations, okay, that are taught. So we find out where the student is, which of those foundations they're already pretty knowledgeable on, and then we'll take the rest of them and enhance them with that. And then during the other part of when they're meeting with their coach, they can talk about the issues that they want to talk about. So it's kind of like a divided type of a call when they have a call with their coach. And there's times when there's calls with me as well, and there's open Q&A, and we're always accessible here. The other thing that separates us is we are accessible here from 8 in the morning to 8 Eastern time. Any student can call here, and somebody here will pick up the phone and answer their question. 38 people.
I saw a few of your students stop by.
Yeah.
Some of the people I saw on the wall, I'm like, I recognize you.
Yeah.
I guess they're in the area?
Yeah, we tell people, when you're in the area, give us a heads up, come over and tour the office. So they'll tour the office, we'll have lunch together.
So you're not hiding behind your MacBook.
I am not in an ivory tower. I'm very accessible. Well, you were here earlier when I called that student, remember, from my office? One of the consultants came in and said, hey, this guy really needs to talk to you about a deal. Do you have time? And I said, sorry, Ross, I'm going to...
You know what he said? I remember he was on speaker.
Yeah.
He said, I've been through so many programs, and this is the first time I've ever been able to talk to the guy.
Yeah.
So they were so great that they were able to talk to you. And I think it comes from your love of helping people and your passion for doing deals.
Because I was there, man. I was dead broke. I came off of that rock and roll band with about 27% of my brain cells and no money in my pocket. And I just wanted a better life, and I went through the process myself. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. My mom was a fish cutter on the fish piers of Boston for 27 years. My dad worked 2 jobs to support us. So I know what it's like to not have much. And now I have a lot, but I always remember where I came from.
Since you're more of a boutique consulting firm here, you hand select the people that you're going to bring on your team. Part of your family. I hear you using that term a lot. You're part of the family.
Yeah, when people come into our organization, they become part of the family, absolutely. That's why you see so many people coming and going from here, our students. That's why they're calling on the phone, because they know.
But in the same respect, you don't take just anyone.
Oh, no. We don't want to work with everybody. You know, first of all, it's got to be fun. That's one of our golden rules. You'll see it down there in our core values. Our number one core value is that we are not successful until our students are successful. It's the first thing you see behind Alice when you walk through that door. But also on that list is you got to have fun. We don't want to deal with people that are a pain in the butt. We don't want to deal with people that have to be dragged along the process. We want to deal with motivated people that are ready to change their lives. And if they are, then we'll bring them on. And we have a qualification process for them to go through. We've been doing this for 10 years now. We're very good at choosing the students that are ready.
So someone who is now interested in being consulted by you and being part of the team and the family can go ahead and fill out the information below this video.
Yeah, that would be the first step. You have to fill out the qualification form. It's no guarantee that we think you're qualified, but that is the first step, and then we'll take it from there.
So when you start filling out the form below, when you scroll down the page, you notice there's a lot of questions there, and that's a way for you to start figuring out if they fit within your program.
Well, every question has a purpose, so it tells us a little bit more about the person that's filling it out. And to be honest with you, some people will take a look at it and say, whoa, that's a lot of questions, and they won't fill it out. Well, that's the first hurdle they got to jump through.
You don't want them to fill it out.
If they can't
It's
fill
too
out a
much.
form, right, then how are they possibly ever going to be a real estate investor? Right, so that's the first hurdle. Second hurdle is they actually fill it out, it gets submitted, so then it's reviewed by the consultants that are on staff now, and they'll take a look at it, and if they feel this person could be a good fit, then they'll pick up the phone and they'll call them, and they'll go through the different questions, and they'll go a little bit deeper. And usually, sometimes at that stage a decision is made, or sometimes we'll take it to another level, and I may be the one that calls and makes the final decision.
Yeah. One thing I can tell everyone on the page here is Dave is not a cheap date.
That's right.
He gets, if you want high quality boutique style service, this is not a free consulting session here. This is for someone who's really serious and understands they have to make an investment in themselves to work with someone like yourself.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But after somebody comes through this program and they become successful, then they look back at the price of admission and they think, oh my gosh, that was the best value I ever had. So at the beginning, it looks like, whoa, this is an investment. Afterwards, it's like, damn, that was the best investment I ever made.
So now you're ready. Take the first step, fill out the form below, and become part of the family.